Hello everybody. How's everybody doing today? Hope you guys are having a good weekend so far. Hello, hey Crazy Dash. Hello Taro Crow. Hello, Angela is the best. Also, if I just so happen to read your message like incorrectly, it's because my eyes are a little bit off. I got these new contacts, but the prescription's a little bit off, so I might misread your words every now and then. So you'll have to forgive me if I'm my reading is a bit off. And then hello Zipporah. Hello, how are you doing? Stream topic is going to be super helpful for you. Hey, glad to help. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then someone asked, Crazy Dash asked, if I make a character sheet, should I add expressions to it as well? I think it's a good idea. I think it helps to have like a fully fleshed out kind of character. And expression sheets definitely for sure can help flesh out your characters, make them feel just a little bit more real. So I think it's always totally a good idea to have one. Yeah. Hello. And art time salutations. Hello Kelzoon. Glad you're here. Hello Lynx. And hello ya boy. That name always gets a chuckle out of me. That name's, I don't know. Saying ya boy is a funny. Hello, I'm John or Vert. Well, hello. Oh man, more effort. I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. You'll have to draw more, but I feel like expression sheets are a lot of fun, you know? So have some fun with them. You know, they're a really great way to just bring your characters to life and give them a little bit more personality than just having them standing around. So I think it's always a good idea. But yeah, so I guess we'll get started. I unfortunately started a little bit late, so there's not going to be any art challenge shoutouts today, unless I just like impromptu really quickly grab some. Let me see. Are there any? I don't know. It's been a while since I've taken a look at what's been submitted. Ooh, there's some good stuff here by Void. Oh, Void has been submitting some cool stuff. Trix has submitted some good stuff. Seems like that was the last. Oh, Dallasay has been kind of holding down the fort, it seems. Seems like Dallasay is like giving you guys a good amount of shoutouts, so yeah. So that's been pretty good. Here, I guess since it's only like a few, I'll give it a shout out. But we'll start out with a little bit of introductions, and then we'll go into the challenge, because I know you guys like it. I like it when you guys when we give a little bit of shout out to the community and everything. So yeah, well, hello everybody and welcome to our live stream. My name is Josh and I'm gonna be the host for today. As you can see on my screen today, we're gonna be finishing off with 3-point perspective. I think, is this the last background focused stream? I feel like there's maybe one more tomorrow, but I could be wrong. Let me check. Yeah, oh, it's gonna be Seth and Dallasay tomorrow. Ooh, that's gonna be cool. And yeah, they're gonna be going over your submission, so that's gonna be cool. Seth and Dallasay are gonna go over your perspectives, perspective submissions. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, today I'm gonna be going over 3-point perspective, generally what is 3-point perspective, how it works, and we're gonna be using the witch drawing that I have here on my screen. And I'm going to be using this and demonstrating 3-point perspective with kind of this scene. We might change some stuff up, move some stuff around, and maybe even change the head position so it better matches 3-point perspective. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how well this one turns out. But yeah, well, you know, while just to get everything started, I guess we'll start with the art challenge shout out, because I think there's only one person, one submission, I guess you could say, that's come through, and it is by Oh man, I think it's Void Rat. Man, my eyes are, and it doesn't help that it's in cursive, so it makes it even harder to read. But I believe this is by, I think the name says Void Rat. So here are some of Void Rat's paintings. There's 3 of them, and I think these are the last submissions that I see, and these are really, really cool. Really love kind of almost this impressionistic type of style in these paintings. So thank you, Void Rat, for submitting. Here, I'm gonna screenshot the name and put it here. So if my eyes are reading it incorrectly, you can let me know if I'm reading it correctly or not. But yeah, this is Void Rats. Let me see. Yeah. So while I have Void Rat's piece here, if you guys didn't know, every month we have a monthly art challenge submission, and this month's was the epic environments. And because it is the last day, well, I guess tomorrow, Seth and Zipporah, or not Zipporah, sorry, Zipporah, Seth and Dallas might get a chance to give a shout out if there's any last remaining submissions, but this might be the last one before we move on to the next one. But yeah, every month we have a new arts kind of challenge for our community over on Discord where you can participate in, and this month's was epic environments. And as you can see here, we have a submission by Void Raff, and these are 3 of their paintings that they've submitted. Yeah, these look really, really awesome. I love the color palette. It's a little kind of like, it has this desaturated look to it, but I think it works really, really well. Always like a little bit more toned down, kind of a chill lighting on this. So this is really cool. Love the brush strokes. Love almost this very like patchy, very blocky style you've got here. So this is really, really cool. Yeah, this turned out awesome. Yeah, the shapes here and just the colors look really, really cool. This one's a little bit trippy. I'm assuming this is supposed to be like a reflection, but it's like almost a, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's like 2. It actually is like 2 tunnels, but I don't know. I'm assuming it's supposed to be a reflection, but it looks a little trippy because it doesn't feel, it's missing maybe like a few ripples for it to be a reflection, but I don't know. I guess in a way it kind of works out. So yeah, thank you Void Rat and everybody who's been participating and submitting in this month's art challenge. We'll be having a new one going up shortly. So if you're wondering like, oh Josh, what are you talking about? What are these art challenges? You can find the art challenge in our Discord, in our community Discord that Zipporah's very lovely link. I kind of like got Nightbot to upload the link to in the chat, so you can click on that and join our Discord if you're not already part of it. And if you scroll down the channels a little bit, you'll see one that says Art Challenge, and if you click that, it'll send you into a thread for the monthly art challenge, and you have the whole month to submit something. It can be new, it can be old, as long as it's related to the topic and it's appropriate. You might get a chance of a shout out, just like what I'm doing here with Void Rat. So it's just our way to show love to the community and give you guys a little bit of some love back, as you guys are always such an awesome community for us here at Wing Canvas. So yeah, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. We are Wing Canvas. We are kind of like an arts YouTube channel, but also a school, an art school as well. And yeah, I guess this is a good segue to jump into the lesson at hand for today, which is 3-point perspective. If you guys have missed the previous 2 ones that I did, because now I realize it's been a few streams since the last stream that I did, and yeah, I feel like it's been almost like 2 weeks. It feels like 2 weeks where I went through 1-point perspective. Maybe I'll switch these. Oh, never mind. I grouped them, so I can't switch them. But in the first round of streams that I did this one over here. This was like a 1-point perspective piece that I did to kind of show you how 1-point perspective works. And then this one here is 2-point perspective. And so 3-point perspective is kind of an extension of both of these combined, essentially. So if you don't know what 1-point or what 3-point perspective is, I'm gonna quickly show you how it works. Oh, forgetting the URL. There you go. Oh, let me see. I know what it's like. Oh, missed that. Moved away. I'm just catching up on chat. I really want to work on learning to draw backgrounds, but I find it so difficult for some reason. I mean, backgrounds take some time. I think painting some nature backgrounds is a good way to start, if anything. If you don't know where to start, I think that's a good place. Oh no, Angela, well, I hope your hand heals. I hear someone has an injured hand. It'll take a few months. Oh, man, that sucks. Well, hopefully you get some good rest. You hopefully get some creativity refresh and reset. So when you come back, you'll be ready to draw. Go longer period without drawing. Yeah, sometimes drawing takes a little bit of warming back up, but it's kind of like riding a bicycle. Once you kind of get back into it, it's a good way to. It's somewhat easy to jump back in. I think the longest I've ever gone without drawing was maybe half a year. I got really burnt out after animation school, so I took a really long break afterwards, and I didn't draw for a long time. But yeah, jumping back into the topic at hand, just like a really quick overview in case there's anybody here who kind of missed the first two live streams. 1 point perspective is when you take the horizon line and you have an object going into that one vanishing point. So that's why when we draw a square and then we draw the lines from the corners going to that vanishing point, we're able to create a three-dimensional prism. And then we get something that looks something like that. So this is 1 point perspective. And then 2 point perspective is the same thing. We grab a horizon line, and then instead of one vanishing point, we get two vanishing points. So we get like one at the end, another at the other end, and then instead of drawing the square first, we draw the corner of the box, and then we connect the two corners of the box to the vanishing points as best as we can. And then we decide how big this prism is going to be. So wherever you cut it off, that's going to be how large your prism is going to be. And then you take the top corners and connect it to the vanishing points. And there you have a prism using 2 point perspective. Now 3 point perspective, or before I get into what 3 point perspective is, 1 point and 2 point is really honestly all you will mostly need when you do any kind of perspective drawing. It will get you most of the way through your drawings. 3 point perspective, and the reason why is because most of our kind of perspective, when we look at our room, when we look at the environment around us, most of the times it is based on 1 and 2 point perspective. But if you really want to flesh out into a very realistic scope of like the world and the scale of it, then that's where you'll need 3 point perspective. And this is especially the case if you're doing anything that has like really tall buildings, or you're looking down on anything. And that is because 3 point perspective deals with things that are going vertically into the distance, or vertically distance, either going up or going down. 1 point and 2 point deals with things vanishing horizontally into the horizon line, whereas 3 point perspective deals with things vanishing up into the sky or into the ground. So that's what makes it a little bit tricky. And so the rules are still kind of the same. I can still have a horizon line down here, and I can still put like vanishing points, and then I'm gonna put a vanishing point like way up here, kind of thing. So this is why this is a combination of 1 point and 2 point perspective, because you still have the 2 vanishing points at the horizon line, but you also have one singular vanishing point up in the sky or down in the ground, depending on what you're trying to draw. And so in this case, I'm gonna put a corner, like let's put it over here. I'm gonna have a floating prism. So the procedure is actually the exact same. I'm going to take the corner, the tops and bottom of this line, and have it connect to my vanishing points, like so. And then this is where it becomes a little bit different, where instead of drawing like parallel vertical lines, I'm going to pick somewhere down here on the lowest, these lowest lines, and I'm going to decide again how large I want my prism to be. But instead of just drawing a vertical straight line, it's going to go towards this vanishing point up here. So I'm going to be like, okay, I want it to be here, and I'm going to drag and have it go this way. And then this one here is going to go this way. Oops. I don't know why it's so thin down there. Okay. And then the same thing, just like 2-point perspective. Now that I have these two corners marked, I'm just going to have them go towards the vanishing point. And that's it. And then there, I'll get my eraser again and erase these lines. And you can kind of see how we get 3-point perspective. And 3-point perspective is honestly really, really useful for cities. If you're ever drawing those like really expansive landscape drawings or city drawings, this is where 3-point perspective really kind of shines and really has a kind of place in like your drawing capabilities. But excuse me. But yeah, it can be really useful and very helpful, and you can still use it for like everyday scenarios as well, like drawing someone in a room or drawing someone like foreshortened. That is also technically part of 3-point perspective. So yeah. Below below as well. Yeah, so here, maybe I'll make a new image, or let me shift these around a little bit. And this is more just like a beginner's guide to 3-point perspective, to just kind of introduce it and show you guys how it works. So you guys, I've just like with 2-point and 1-point perspective, best way to kind of learn it and practice it is to just give it a shot, try it out for yourselves and see how it works. That's the best way to learn 1-point perspective. That's the best way to learn 2-point perspective. And 3-point perspective is no different as well. You want to kind of try it out in this way, where you do what I just did over here, to get a feel for how it looks and kind of how the shape looks, how it feels, how it makes to feel something look like it's going vertically up into the sky. So yeah, was it Roshino, or was it Roshin? I can't read it properly. Roshin of the Flames asks a question of like, oh, what if there's one below? And yeah, we could totally make one below as well. So I'll do another one, another example. This one, I'll put the horizon line maybe right in the middle, and we'll put kind of 2 vanishing points over there, and then we'll put a vanishing point down here, and then also above it. Let me just draw a line straight up, so they're aligned with one another. So if I wanted to draw like a cube or something, kind of going like an expansive cube or something like that, we can use this to our advantage. So we can draw like a really warped kind of fisheye lens looking type of prism. So maybe I'll put it like right here, or let me draw it out with another line. I'm gonna put it like right over here, and same thing, we can have lines go here, and this will determine kind of the side planes. Now this part's going to be kind of interesting. We're going to cheat a little bit in a way, and I'll show you what I mean, why it feels a little bit like cheating. We're going to skew it a little bit, but we're going to just use this to give ourselves a rough estimate. And if you ever want to draw kind of like a curved or fisheye lens type of prism that is using, in a way, 4-point perspective now, I guess, this is where you kind of have to improvise a little bit and smoothen the lines between it. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of smoothen out this corner for the shape to get this nice gradual curve for this prism. For a little bit of like a fisheye lens type of drawing. Now this is a little bit more extreme. We're not going to be doing this for the demo, but this is kind of like I feel like answers the question of just like, oh, what if I have multiple vanishing points and whatnot? So this kind of hopefully answers it a little bit. So you can kind of see like it warps it a little bit, and we get this like funky looking warped fisheye lens prisms. But yeah. If I do learn how to draw with the other hand, my next goal in life is to learn how to draw with both. That's a crazy skill. Whenever I see people who draw at the same time with both hands, it blows my mind how someone's able to do this. Said like Roshan. Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks for the update. Oh, TF. Wow. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well, TF. Haven't heard from you in a long time, but hello. Once I can actually draw with my dominant hand, I might learn to draw with my other hand. Nice. How far are you into the stream? Are we just just got on, can't draw along with you, spray my drawing? Everybody's injuring their hand. What's happening? Well, I guess it's just maybe like 2 people, but well, hopefully your hand feels better. Hopefully it heals up. But yeah. Definitely do it then if it's good. Is it good for their brain? Really? Oh, okay. Drawing that use both hands for writing and drawing is good. Oh, drawing is good for the brain. I heard that too. I think it has to do with like memory recall. Kind of helps with memory and keeping your brain working. But yeah, so this is kind of in a way 4-point perspective, but the rule is still the same for 3-point. But yeah, so 3-point perspective, maybe I'll write it here, and I think it's pretty self-explanatory, so we'll get right into like the drawing and how I would plan out kind of a scenery. So with 3-point, it's good for cities, it's kind of like city landscapes, cityscapes. It's good for really intense angles. And it can make the world feel more dimensional, I guess. Dimensional. Now, a general rule of thumb when it comes to 3-point perspective is that depending on the intensity. Now, unlike, well, I guess there is kind of a rule, but you can control how far and how high the 3rd point is. So think of it more as like the way you're tilting the camera. The higher the 3rd point is, so further away, maybe I can show it as a demonstration. Show kind of like 2 different versions here. So if I have, let's say this is our first one. If I have the 3rd point all the way here, well, guess what? We're going to have a very, very intense prism. Like, it's going to look, like, insane with the angle. So this would almost be similar to if I took a camera and angled it and got it really, really low to the ground and was shooting really, really high up. So let's see how it looks. So I'm going to do the same thing. Connect and build out my prism. And I'm putting the third point really, really close to the horizon line, and you'll notice you get these. You can get this really intense looking kind of angle here. It makes it very, very skewed, and the building looks really like just really intense with how far it's moving up. Let me use the kneading eraser instead. So you can see as I'm erasing it, this final square that we get, it still works, but it definitely is very like skewed and it looks a little bit like off and everything. Whereas if I draw another one here, where the horizon line is, or not the horizon line, but the third point is like way up there, and I draw a prism down here, and let's make it small so it really makes it feel like this prism is quite grounded. Then it'll still make it look like we're looking up at it, but it'll just be less intense than the other one. So this one feels a little bit more grounded, feels a little bit more realistic to a certain degree. And the reason why is because this one, the angles of the sides of the building, or this prism, is not as intense. It's a little bit more flatter, it's a little bit more even and level, and so we get a much more even, level looking prism. You can kind of see here the difference between the two. So this would be an example of kind of like a more normal angle or a more normal view where you're not skewing the camera or tilting it up at a very crazy angle or putting the camera very, very low to the ground and pointing up. Whereas this one looks very much like having the camera very low to the ground and pointing at a very intense angle. So where and how high you put the third point can alter and change the intensity of the viewing angle. So that's why you can kind of choose and adjust how far and how close you want the third point to the horizon line. So I'll write that down here as a note. And by the way, if any of you guys are wondering, like, wait, are you going to share these notes? Can I like have them afterwards? Yes, you can. These notes will be posted on our Instagram, or not the Instagram, onto our Discord afterwards. So if you haven't followed us on Discord, the notes will be going up there. And if you want to see the final image and demo that I'll be sharing afterwards, it'll be shared on Instagram, as well as Discord. So definitely follow us on Discord and Instagram for all the updates. So just some like notes here, and I'll write the higher the third point, the more skewed the angle will be. The angle will be just like tilting up a camera, just like having a camera low to the ground and pointing up. She keeps trying to attack my iPad every time you draw something or she sees your cursor. Oh, that's hilarious. Whereas the high, what did I say, higher? Oh, whoops, I meant the lower. Whoops. The lower. So the lower the third point, the more skewed the angle will be, just like having a camera low to the ground and pointing up. So that is like image A, basically. So this is like image A, and then this is image B. So the higher, so it would be like the inverse. The higher, the more normal the shot looks. Yeah, the higher, the more normal the shot looks. So this one would be B. Okay. So hopefully that makes some sense, and I'll share this with you. And honestly, I think that's why I say the best way to kind of figure this out and learning this is to just try this out. Try it out with a prism, plot out some vanishing points, and see what happens if you put the third vanishing point like really, really high up into the sky and draw a prism really close to the horizon line, and then draw the third point really close to the horizon line, and the building really, really kind of like close to both horizon line and the third point, and see what you get. It's all about kind of mixing and matching and experimenting and seeing what combination, what results you get from different combinations. And so now we get into the actual drawing demo part of it. So like I said, if anybody's just joining us and missed it, I'm going to be taking this witch drawing that I drew, and I'm going to turn it into a 3-point perspective kind of scenario. Gonna keep it relatively straightforward. We'll see how well it goes. But yeah, does it have to be in the center, or can it be on the left or right? It depends on where you're looking. I will say that it has to be kind of in the middle. Because, well, actually, you know, I like that you brought up that question. So we can like test it out. Let's see what happens if we put it off to the side. So if I put it off to the side like here, now when you put it off to the side and I draw a prism here, maybe let's see what happens. Hopefully I'm making it feel like art is kind of sometimes like a science experiment. You know, hopefully you guys did this in like high school or something, where it's like, oh, what are the you know, the, what is it, not, it's like the hypothesis of like what will happen. So I'm gonna put this here, and I guess this will go here. So all the vertical lines have to go to the third vanishing point. So I guess what ends up happening is you get this very skewed looking building that doesn't really look exactly like a normal, like a prism building. This kind of feels more like a odd shape, or like a interesting kind of, I don't know, like, what are those, what's that word? I don't know, just like a weird floating object out in space or something. So it just looks very skewed. So this is what happens if you don't have the vanishing point right in the middle. And what, this isn't wrong, by the way, but what ends up happening is like, this is what buildings look like when they're off to the side. So let's draw another building, maybe off to closer to the middle. But if you're drawing like something just like one object, it will look a little bit odd that it's very skewed like this. So if I draw another building from here, well, this one's going to be interesting because here's the thing. It's actually going to look also skewed based on where the 2-point perspective is. So we're going to get a very interesting result here. A very interesting kind of conclusion. Also, I would say maybe I put the third point a little bit too close, so it really is very extreme in its kind of placement of things, but you can kind of see what happens with this layout. So this one looks a little bit more normal, but then this one's like very, very skewed. Yeah, and it's wrong. Yeah. It's, I would say usually the third point will be in the center, because that, imagine that's where your camera is. So whatever's in front of you will definitely be going straight up to the vanishing point that's up here or down below. Everything else onto the side is going to go towards it. That's why usually if you ever look at a wide lens and it's a city shot building, all the buildings around on the edge of the photo or at the edge of the video looks really weird and wonky, and that's because they're like skewing and stretching towards the third vanishing point. So it makes a very intense shot, but everything in the middle looks kind of okay, looks more normal. And this is how you can get like a building that maybe looks like this. You can draw kind of like a normal city building, like a street side view that looks maybe like this. And you can get like another building next to it. But it's gonna look very, 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 very intense in terms of the angles. But this is how you get those like crazy skyscraper shots that you see sometimes in like movies and everything. So something like this maybe. It's like a cyberpunk kind of city almost. Something like that. And then this is how you get those like towering, like a towering kind of city scope and skyline, essentially. Would be something like this. But you'll notice like all the buildings here kind of look okay. They're like, it looks kind of fine. And then all this one over here, this one's like really, really skewed. Even this one is kind of starting to push it a little bit, but this one definitely for sure is starting to feel very, very skewed. And most of the times when we have a photo or a shot like this, the composition actually is usually restricted to just this shot over here. We very rarely actually in 3-point perspective see the horizon line. And the reason why is because you technically wouldn't. Imagine if you put the camera all the way down to the ground shooting up at some buildings, at some skyscrapers, you don't see the ground. You don't see the floor that the camera is touching. So a lot of times when you shoot a photo of a building or a skyscraper, you wouldn't see the ground because that's just how it works. So I always like to think, like when teaching people about perspective for the first time, and if it's your first time ever using perspective, the best way to kind of understand what is possible with shots is actually to think of it as a cameraman. Think of yourself as someone holding the camera. What are the possibilities? What are the limits? If you were to use a certain put the camera down to the ground, what would you see? What would you not see? And yeah, it's kind of how you get a simple 3-point perspective shot going, essentially. Yeah, hopefully that makes some sense. Yeah. This is very helpful. Oh, cool. Nice. Yeah, maybe I'll enlarge this a little bit just to show you kind of like an example of the limits of 3-point perspective. I'll say, oh, maybe in the blue one, I'll write, it's like general frame. General composition frame. And then I'll say here, usually horizon line, or not even usually, the horizon line is not in camera, is not in view. And then this one is like, it's very easy to skew. Very easy to skew. So yeah. How much classes are there in Wing Canvas? Right now I think we have, just not by counting, but just off of feel, I think roughly maybe like 5 classes. Digital D1, D2, drawing foundations, drawing painting mentorship, digital illustration, cartooning, and anime. Oh, 6. Yeah, so I think 6 classes. I am here. Hello, Marushard. Hello. Welcome. But yeah, so okay, we'll finally get into the actual drawing now. But here are the notes, by the way. So if you guys want to have these notes, just remember, join our Discord. I'll be uploading these later on for you to take a look at and keep track of. And so now I'm gonna do some roughs. So if you guys were here for the witch drawing the witch stream that I did not too long ago, I showed you guys how I typically start off. It is a bunch of lessons. Well, you don't have to sign up for all 6 classes, but yeah. So I showed you guys generally how I start. I like to figure out some roughs, some general placements and ideas, and then we'll clean it up at the end. So we have about like an hour and 20 minutes left. And so if you guys didn't know, by the way, if this is your first time here, our live streams last for about maybe like 2 hours. If we're like close to finishing, then I might extend it a little bit further. But yeah, so we'll do some roughs and let's kind of map it out. So roughs. If you guys don't know what roughs are essentially just our way of planning and figuring out what the drawing is going to include. Now, I will sometimes, because of the amount of time that we have, I might do 2 passes. 2 passes being, the first pass is the rough. The second pass is the cleanup. And then the third pass and the last pass would be the final. So right now what I'm doing here is the rough pass. It is the first one. It kind of allows me to ideate and figure out some stuff, and then the cleanup will allow me to really figure out where I'm going to be putting things. So for me, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to actually draw out the horizon line or the vanishing points just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to kind of just draw out the rough composition, and then once I have the composition, then I'll put in the horizon line and the vanishing points to get a better idea and sense of where things actually should be vanishing to. So it's a little bit cleaner and refined. But in my head, when I was thinking about like what we're gonna do today, I was like, oh, you know what? I want to draw our witch girl. Like, technically for this one, we could turn this into 3-point perspective where we're looking up at her, but I actually kind of want to do a little bit of a fun one where we're looking down at her. So I'm gonna do a little bit of some foreshortening. And gonna kind of map out where I want things to be. So and she's gonna be looking up, so that's why the hat is not gonna be covering her face. Also, I need to figure out like how I designed her character. What does she look like? Sometimes I always forget what the characters sometimes look like. Might change the style just to better match the perspective a little bit more. So we're looking down on, she's looking up at the camera, but we as the viewers are looking down on her. So there's going to be a little bit of foreshortening happening, and I'm using the hat to roughly help me figure out how high we're looking at her. Also, maybe make it a little bit bigger. Getting the cursed heat waves. Oh, is this still really hot for people? Luckily, honestly, for us here in Toronto, our heat wave, well, I don't know about heat wave, but our temperature has cooled down quite a bit, so it's actually been very, very nice for us. My vanishing point, I might actually put it somewhere around here, but we'll see. So it's been very, very nice. It's been very nice to have like some cool weather back. Let me see. Wait, why does it feel like she's going to smack the camera? I guess the hat almost does look like smack the camera, yeah. Try the weird candy shop. Yeah, well, I don't know if it's a candy shop, but yeah. Well, it's summer. Oh yeah, it's totally cool for me. Oh, that's good. I know that in like Europe it's been getting very hot. Seems like in America it's still quite hot and everything as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys are staying cool, staying safe out there, you know, during this intense heat wave. Maybe I might have a finger here. I don't know why I'm always making it way more complicated than I need to. But I think this will be fun. um, are you getting snow for the winter? I mean, I feel like usually we get snow during the winter time, so yeah, I think so. I think we usually do. Oh, if anybody is ever wants to do any kind of foreshortened shots, my recommendation is that usually you will see less than you think you'll see. I know that's a very vague, vague kind of statement, but a lot of the times I think our biggest mistake when we do foreshortened shots is that we always end up drawing way too much. But if you want to really intensify like a foreshortened shot, you actually don't see too much. You're not going to see a lot. And that's because a lot of things are starting to get covered by the body and everything. That's why I actually want to try to have her finger lift the hat up so we can see her face and her eyes a little bit more. Oh, also, I think my neighbors are, I don't know, doing some renovation or something. So if you ever hear some like smacking sounds or some drill sounds, it's because my neighbors are, I think, doing some kind of renovations of some sort. Yeah. Used to get a lot of snow in Germany, but then I moved to the UK and it melts as soon as it starts. Aw, man. You've never experienced snow in your life? Dang. Well, you know, I feel like snow is always like a nice thing to experience. Maybe even just for fun. I guess like if some people like hate the snow, they don't love the maintenance of it, having to shovel and all that kind of stuff, and like going through the cold and all that. But honestly, I personally love it. I love the I love the snow. I love the kind of like the work that goes behind like having to deal with the snow. But I guess that's just me. Okay, so we're gonna put the table. We're gonna have it be like she's turning around. And I think, let's see, the horizon line maybe like all the way here. So we're gonna have the third point like maybe here. And yeah, the horizon line is maybe like up here. So far, most of the demonstrations I've been showing kind of the vanishing point for the third one up in the sky. And so when, maybe I'll bring back the other drawing. Notice how if I have the vanishing point, the third one up in the sky, the horizon line is down on the ground and it's underneath our frame. But in this case, because we're looking down at my character, the horizon line is actually going to be up here somewhere. So I'm going to kind of like maybe move things around to try to figure out where things would be. But I think this would be a good one. Maybe we'll have it like up here or something. And because one of my vanishing points is here, then what it means is that the other vanishing point is probably like way out over here somewhere. And so if I wanted to draw like another box or prism, that's where I would put it. And maybe we'll have this just go off screen. And maybe we can have this be a little bit higher. I would be closer to her. Maybe we can have this table desk be a little bit longer. And then I think we had like a window here, so we can put the window. We can have the window here. We can have, might change the composition a little bit, but I'm gonna go here, and then, so if you guys weren't here the last time I did a drawing like this, what I did was I'll come up with a rough, and then afterwards I will kind of adjust the composition based on kind of what I'm kind of feeling. So it's like, oh, you know what, this kind of matches better if the composition is way over here and everything. So I'll kind of adjust it and change it based on kind of what's kind of fitting in the environment. So if I think the environment needs to like change or be adjusted, I'll kind of adjust it based on that. So here's the window. Let me see. Oh, let's add like maybe another window. Could be like over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Then for the items, I'm gonna use a similar approach where I'm gonna kind of roughly figure out where I want, like, let's say this bottle. If I have a bottle here, I'm gonna draw roughly where it's going. So I'm like, oh, okay. So because we're looking down on it, it's gonna be more open, and this will be the shape of the jar. If I want the table further back, maybe. And let me see. Oh yeah, there was like a skull on it. So if I draw like the skull here, maybe. Let's make it bigger. Let's just beef up the proportions of things. And then we're going to clean this up as well. So even though right now it feels like, oh, you know, like what is a little bit of like a mess right now, but we're going to kind of stick with it. I'm going to show the top of the head a little bit. And then we have like a box here. So I might have to just extend the table off camera. I think that would make a bit of sense. Have it be off camera. Oh, when pixelated? Oh no. A snow theme park sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I think we have one in Quebec. We have like a theme snow, like a snow theme park. If you like snow that much, you should shovel out my driveway for me in the summer or for the winter. Okay. I don't know if I want to do like shoveling as a job though, as a Sephora, but I do like the snow. How can you not like the snow? The snow is so much. It's a magical element, you know. It's a fun magical moment that we get as Canadians, you know. So gotta love the snow. I kind of changed the composition. I think I did the same thing last time where I was like drawing, and then I like changed the composition afterwards for everything. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the movie. I've heard good things. I've heard that people are quite enjoying the Acme and Coyote movie. That's what I thought. Yeah. I've heard it's pretty good. Has anybody seen the Coyote movie? It's a magical moment if you're used to it. I guess. White clean snow is pretty. Dirty snow over snow. That's true. Yeah, once the snow gets dirty, it's different. But you know when it's like perfectly clean, no one stepped on it, no driving has happened, it hasn't gone slushy or muddy. It's I don't know. It's awesome to walk through. I love walking through a blizzard. I every time I tell people that, people are like, "You're so weird. Why would you love walking through a blizzard?" I don't know. There's something kind of magical about walking through just a blizzard, you know. It's just it's a interesting experience and feeling, you know. Okay, I think I definitely am going to shift my camera, I think the composition over, because it looks like I am slowly moving this more and more to a left composition than the right, because I think I have more items and objects that I can fit on that side. But this is kind of like why this is a rough. I kind of want to see like what we can work with and everything. And here is maybe like the tablecloth and whatnot. And let me see. Oh, like more bottles. Gotta add more bottles. And let me see. Oh, the candlestick. Gotta have the candlestick. Basically, everything's gonna feel like it's stacked on top of each other. So, trying to make it feel like we have this really kind of messy tabletop full of like objects and things to work around. So you'll notice that everything over here on the table and on the desk is going towards this vanishing point. This is our third vanishing point. And then I have things going into a vanishing point way over there. So there's actually a vanishing point over here that the table is going towards, and everything else as well. So yeah, and then I have a third vanishing point way over here, because remember, the horizon line is like somewhere around here. So my third vanishing point is somewhere around over here, where my mouse is. But we are definitely going to change the composition so that it's a little bit more shifted to the left. So I might lower it or expand it a little bit more, have her maybe more in the middle. So I guess we'll end up cutting out the window. Won't see this part, but we'll just see the table. Yeah. Trying to figure out how I want this to be. Yeah, alright. Pretty cool. Might kind of just... supposed to be wearing like some kind of like skirt or outfit, I think. So, maybe something like that. Let me see. Turning through the snow in my trusty Chevrolet. Yeah, the way walking through a blizzard or being in one is so much fun. Yeah, exactly. Okay, there. One person who kind of agrees with I feel like every time I tell my friends that I like walking through a blizzard, they're like, why? It's cold, it's miserable. I'm like, it's not miserable. It's like, I think it's kind of fun. It's like a interesting okay, I like it because it feels like I'm on survival mode. Like I'm out there in the wilderness, kind of beating the snow, you know. Wading through the snow. Just being outdoors while it's snowing is so great. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, undriven snow is a word I think you're looking for. Undriven. Yeah, I guess undriven snow is definitely kind of like the vibe. Drove through a sandstorm like 2 days ago. That I feel like sandstorm is so much worse, or it's a different kind of worse, you know. But yeah, that also does not sound too great. Yeah, I feel like snow is maybe worse, because snow or sand is worse, because, you know, snow eventually melts and it goes away and it doesn't like seep anywhere, because in the end it just gets maybe like wet and cold. But like sand, ugh, no. You should put a shoe in the table with a plant grow. Oh, that's a good idea. I like that. Shoe with the plant. Yeah, yeah. Oh, am I late? I guess, yeah, I mean, we started a little while ago, but I wouldn't say you're, like, too late. Yeah, we haven't cleaned up just yet. Josh likes suffering, survival, and adventure. Okay, well, I like survival if I know that I can get out of it. I think that's different from people who, like, actually go out into the wilderness and they don't know whether or not they'll survive, maybe. Like, they have the survival skills and the know-how, but they don't know whether or not they'll get out of it. I think that's a bit different from what I like to do. I think I like to be sure that I can go back home and I'll have a place to go back to, and I'll be safe. People who enjoy going out in the wilderness and not knowing whether or not they'll be safe, that I feel like that's definitely a different scenario. That is, I don't know if I'm up for that necessarily. Okay, so just like last time, I'm gonna have this drawing over here, and this one is going to be the actual cleanup one. So I'm gonna just shrink this down a little bit, move it over so I have more space for this one. And we're gonna change the cropping just a little bit. Josh doesn't go out touching grass, he's touching snow. That's true. I mean, I love it. I love the snow. Snow's great. I always wish we could have more snow, and it always snows whenever it can, but I don't know. I feel like it's actually so unpredictable these days. Sometimes we get a lot of snow and it's really cold, and then there was one winter where it was like only negative like 3 and like 0 degrees, and it like never really snowed, and I was like, man, this sucks. It always eventually snows around maybe like February or January, but it's December. December is the one where you want it to snow, but I feel like the past few years it's unpredictable. Really hard to say. Sand is really sharp. Oh yeah. Actually, I'm in outdoors more in the winter than summer, so I know I'm definitely not touching. I'm definitely out touching snow and not grass. Same. Like when it got really hot, like in the past few days, like weeks, I was like, I do not want to go out. Yeah. Do you think perspective is the hardest basic beginners should learn? Because I'm struggle since last year. Perspective is tricky. Because there's two aspects, I would say, when it comes to perspective. There is the fundamental part, which is kind of what I showed here. Sorry, for those who are new, who are just coming in, if you hear rumbling, it is my neighbors. They're doing some construction. But this would be the fundamentals. This is the basics of what perspective is. The hard part that everybody has to kind of like figure out and kind of overcome is applying the fundamentals here, 1 point and 2 point perspective, into the things that you are drawing. And that is because it's sometimes hard to figure out like where to put the horizon line, where to put the vanishing points. And so sometimes I actually think the best way to understand how it works is to start with a simple object. Do a still life study, put a book on a table, put a bottle, put an apple, do the very basic still life setup, and try to draw the bottle, book, and apple using what you learn here with 1 point and 2 point perspective. I would not try 3 point perspective until you understand 1 and 2 point, because 3 point gets a little bit tricky. If you already find 1 and 2 point warping your brain, really making you feel like you're overworking and overcharging your mental capacity, then I think leave 3 point until a little bit later. But if you really want to learn kind of perspective and the basics of it, try drawing a still life setting. You don't even need to have that many objects. Just maybe like a mug, just kind of like what Crazy Dash is saying. Like a mug I think is perfectly fine. A bottle, a book, something very simple that allows you to map out, okay, in this still life setting, where would the horizon line be? Where would the vanishing points be? And how can I map this onto the setting that I'm drawing? Because once you understand that, you start to get how this scenario, this setup here, is actually applied to a proper scenario or a proper setting. Because this feels very abstract. This can feel very technical, almost scientific and mathematical in a way that is very hard to translate to a drawing sometimes. And then I think really kind of finding a connection in a very simple still life is a very easy way to set it up for yourself to try. Yeah. I'm gonna get a drink of water. But how is everybody doing so far? Hopefully everybody's weekend is not too bad. Okay, I think I might extend the drawing to like here, maybe. And we'll have, I was thinking actually maybe we can have like a mug, or not a mug, but a rug somewhere here. And then there would be maybe like a cat. Why do I do this to myself? drawing people in this way, like I'm gonna kick myself later down the road. Always like why? And 3 point perspective, I think if you want to give it a shot, the best way to try it is to just do the cityscape one that I drew here. So this one right here, I think is like a very easy one to start off with if you want to try 3 point perspective, where it's just like, oh, okay, like just set up some buildings, draw a very simple city skyline, and just clumping of buildings. Maybe treat it kind of like a sci-fi building and see what you come up with. And then this way it's like, oh, cool, I got like a simple setup going on. And let me see. Oh, okay, the bag will be here. So I'm very sure it is time for me to change my screen protector on my tablet. It's starting to get really scratchy in certain areas, and I'm like, uh-oh, time to change it. Oh, and someone asked, am I doing cross-hatching? I'm not intentionally doing cross-hatching necessarily. I'm just kind of coloring it in really quickly so I can kind of see where I want things to be. But no, I wouldn't necessarily say I am cross-hatching. I am just simply coloring things in so I can give myself an idea as to what I want. Yeah. And I need to remind myself too that the hand needs to be small, so I'm trying to make the hand like really small, and like this is roughly maybe where the waist would be. And oh, yeah, and then maybe like a cat. I don't know why I'm deciding to add a cat, but I feel like, you know, it's a witch. We gotta have the cat. We got the crow. Gotta add the cat to the drawing. Yeah. My weekend is crazy because our grandparents are moving in. Oh, nice. So my weekend is, oh, well, yeah, sorry to hear that. Hopefully, you know, gets easier as time goes on. And yeah. Yeah, it always sucks hearing one's pet pass away. It's always sad to hear that. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Hey, someone said shoot. Wait, what did I have originally? Oh, I had like a little claw hand behind the box. Okay. Just I decided to draw like all this like stuff that I'm just like, oh man. Now I gotta draw all these things onto it. Alright. And shoe with the flower. I guess this could be the flower. You can have like a little flower here. And then this will go into the shoe. Should be like here. And then it's being blocked by a bottle or a mug over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. What should be up here? Oh, you know, I guess the book. You know, we'll shift the book over. Have the book be here instead. And yeah. Just so that it takes up some space. And then I don't know what will be over here. Maybe something just like the end of the room, maybe. And just draw like a chest box. A storage box, maybe. Somewhere around here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Alright. How about a bat cat? Oh, sure. Yeah, that'll be fun. Let me see. How should I? It's tricky now because I have to draw it from the top point perspective. So I'm like, where would it be? I don't know. Where would the wings be? Maybe like here. I don't know. That might that might make it a little bit harder. I don't know where to show it. Also, off the top of my head, I don't know what a bat's wings look like, or at least how I would put them in. Sure, maybe something like that. I guess that kind of looks like a bat wing, maybe. Now, you have a broom on the right. Oh yeah, broom. Where did I stack it? Oh, I put it like right there. Let's put the broom. Yeah, we're like breaking like what this room actually looked like, but sure, we'll put it right over here. It'll be like, yeah, the broom is there. You just have to look for it a little bit. It's there. Okay, here we go. We have our intense 3-point perspective shot that we have elaborated on. I don't know why I didn't just make a new layer, but I instead just kept drawing on the same layer. Yeah, I don't know why. What's up with that? But we're gonna make it a new layer now. We're actually gonna do the cleanup. Let's see. We got like 45 minutes. Okay, time to lock in and like put this all together. Let me see. Did you make any comics before? Have I made any comics before? I don't. Well, I guess I've done it for school, but I don't think I've made any like recently. No. I'm getting myself out of a weeks-long art block today. That makes me glad. Hey, nice. Glad to see that getting back into drawing. Yeah, I see. So I should really focus on 1 and 2 point then. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't even touch into the other perspective, like the fisheye lens and the, like, I guess there's like other types of perspectives out there, but 1, 2, and 3 point perspectives are kind of like the main core. But 1 and 2 is like the ones you really want to make sure you understand first. But yeah. Okay, let me just draw my frame out real quick. Okay, this is gonna be our frame. And did I spell that wrong? Did I spell phrasm? Okay, frame. Okay, now we're gonna draw. I think we're just gonna jump right into like the final one, just because running a little bit out of time when I get a chance to go at it. Because I can't see my drawing, I'm just gonna put this up on my own window to see. Okay, let's. Gonna try to match the cartooniness of the last drawing as best as I can. We'll see how it goes. I gave her kind of like a small nose. I'm gonna exaggerate the mouth a little bit. Like a wah kind of shape. Let's see. I don't know stylistically how this will turn out, but I don't know. It might make her look really weird. Yeah, but we'll give it a shot. We'll try it out, see how it looks. I'm doing this thing where I don't actually try to. I do a lot of the cleanup in the spot and in the moment. So if you've ever done like a drawing before and you're wondering like, oh, how many passes, Josh, do you do? Like, if it's not fully clean, do you still do like another pass? And what I would recommend is to try not to do too many passes. Try to keep it relatively low. And the reason why is because a lot of times when you're doing line cleanups, there's a lot of kind of just kind of this organic flow that happens in your drawings that is hard to replicate if you clean it up too many times. So I highly recommend trying to do everything in as little passes as possible. And then if you do need to do any cleanups, if you do need cleanups, try to do it in kind of the final pass. Just erase, simply just erase the lines. I know it sounds very like straightforward. It's like, oh, just erase the lines, but that's really all you need. A lot of times the mistakes aren't really mistakes that you need to do over and redraw. They're simply just maybe the wrong shape or the wrong size, or you just need to clean up the drawing a little bit. I know it's maybe easier said than done, but it does play a huge role in just making your drawings feel more livelier, and sometimes the messier the drawing, the better the drawing is actually. So I'd actually encourage not to get too caught up on having a perfectly clean drawing. We're gonna take the teeth out. I was gonna be like, oh, maybe you should have like the teeth and everything, and I'm like, nah, it looks a little weird. We're just gonna have it be like big wide shape. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but the inspiration for this art style is actually from My Witch Academia, or My Little Witch Academia. I don't know if anybody's ever seen it, but I love the art style. It's like a really cool art for it. How about, oh, right. So I'll see you guys next time. Okay, bye, Crazy Dash. Hope you have a good one. I struggle with drawing clean layers. It always looks bad to me, as if a child was copying something for the tracing paper. I'd rather just perfect my original drawing layer and keep it sketchy. Its sketchiness. Yeah, exactly. So I think part of that definitely comes from not being too caught up with the I guess you could say the details, and just kind of going along with the messiness, the noisiness that happens. Trying to figure out this hand angle. So I'm looking at my hand from like the top view to see what it would look like. So everything's from kind of like a top angle. That's why I'm kind of trying to make sure that like the hand, the position that I'm getting for the hand is more of this like really crazy top view instead of like a more head-on or front view. So that's why we're seeing mostly the top of the knuckles, and what we're seeing here is actually the bottom, or the part like the bottom of like the palm and the hand. But yeah, I do think like if anybody is struggling with what is it, line work and everything, I highly recommend trying out not to get too caught up in cleaning up your line work too much. Leave a little bit of just some kind of randomness to it. It'll really help make your drawings feel just a little bit more livelier. Yeah. And also, hello, Get the Feels. Haven't heard from you in a while. Hopefully you're doing good. It's been a while, I feel like. Sounds like you're doing good, hopefully. I'm good. You? Yeah, I'm doing not too bad. Just had a little bit of a vacation break-ish, so yeah, doing okay. Doing okay. Let me see the hat. Man, the hat is gonna be. Let me see. I do want the hat to be somewhat irregular, so I don't want it to be too clean. How are we going, guys? Hello, Flora Maydras. I'm doing pretty good. Kind of chilling, relaxing. After a stream, actually, I'm gonna go to like a barbecue to celebrate our year of softballs, because softball season is finally done. It's finally over. So we're having like a end of summer softball celebration. So that's kind of cool. So that's gonna be nice. I don't know if the weather is gonna hold up though, because I think it's supposed to maybe rain, possibly. The weather's looking a little gloomy, but hopefully it holds up. Yeah. Team-wide barbecue. That'll be fun. Student is blowing in the wind. Out of vacation as well, and my art has suffered, unfortunately. Oh no. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get back into it. Hopefully it's not too bad. Is doing one canvas your day job? I would say it's primarily my job for the most part. Yeah. Sometimes I pick up a few side tutoring jobs, but primarily at the moment it's teaching is my primary task, I would say. Yeah. Someone introduced me to the new OC. Oh yeah, you the yeah, it's been you weren't here last time, but a few weeks ago I did this before I went on my vacation. And then so after this one, um I'm like, "Oh, let's draw this character in a different angle." So, yeah, that's kind of what's happening. But yeah, I guess that's kind of all you missed, really. You haven't missed too much, don't worry. It's there's like a few small things. Yeah, we're just drawing a witch, not a lich. I was saying little witch, but then said that all in one time. Mine aren't too great. Oh, nice. I did anything other than portraits, anyways. My art will be fine. Yeah. Here, we're just drawing kind of a foreshortened piece with a little bit of, with mostly an emphasis on like 3-point perspective. So having the character hold up, you know, she's at kind of like a witch shop, I guess is the scenario, and I'm kind of like, oh, let's draw her at the witch shop, but it's like a different perspective and everything. Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, don't. I guess you haven't really missed too much. Just this is what it's based on. Yeah. My facial proportions are still guesswork. Ah, that's okay. Yeah, it's like it's a process, and it'll come with time. I think with like a lot of things, just like with a lot of things, yeah. And I think with portraiture is such a vast and complicated subject that not only is it complicated, but there's so many different ways that a person can express their drawings of people. So just because you figure out, you know, the technicalities of it, then there's like, oh, stylization. How do I want to stylize something? All of that comes down afterwards. So yeah, it's almost like a lifelong kind of exploration and discovery, which is kind of what I love about portrait drawing, is the fact that you can always learn and expand your portrait drawing horizon. It never really ends, so to speak. Likeness is a thing of the mind. Yeah, that too. I think like ultimately you can also adjust and change how accurate, I guess, or photo accurate something is, and that's really kind of just a matter of subjectivity. How close do you want your drawing to be to the photo? And that's really kind of just your call and whatnot. So I think that's like a I think everybody kind of slowly realizes that, and the focus then becomes less so of like perfect photo accuracy, and it's more of like, how can I express the way that I see this photo, or how can I capture, I don't know, the feeling that I'm getting when I see this. Maybe it's in the lighting, maybe it's in the colors, maybe it's the weird facial features that this person has, and the proportions that they've got going on. Like, it's all these like subtle things that you start finding out that are way more important and way more kind of essential to the drawing than actual like likeness, which I think is always like a cool discovery when people finally realize like, oh, it's not the realistic aspects that makes a drawing interesting. It's the it's the self-expression that you can have in a drawing that makes it cool. So yeah. So, if you get bored, animal portraits are always cute as well. That's true too. Yeah. You can't go wrong with animal portraits, for sure. Yeah. So, let's see. It's been a year of taking art seriously. Definitely been seeing improvements, but I have a long way to go. Yeah, and you know, everybody's journey is gonna be a little bit different. And I think what's cool too is like everybody like I think finding out your individuality in the learning process is also part of like a really cool aspect of learning art. Understanding that how you see something might be different from how your friends see something, and all that kind of plays into how your final art style comes together. And that's always fun. It's always fun to kind of see where it goes in the final run. That's a weird looking finger. Yeah, there, that's a little bit better. There we go. That's pretty good. Right now I'm messing with watercolor. Oh, cool. Watercolor is awesome. I love watercolor as well. Yeah. Does not hit your head against the wall. Yeah, I think it's like good to try out something, try out a drawing, and then move on to the next one. And don't get too caught up on like whether or not you succeeded or whether or not you failed. Just like on to the next one and take the wins where they come. And if you failed, that's okay. There's the next one, the next drawing, and the next one, and the next one. But yeah, it's all part of the growing process in art. So yeah, and have some fun while you're doing it too. I think that's something we always sometimes forget as well. In the learning process, we get so caught up on the learning that we forget to have fun sometimes. So yeah, have some fun while you're learning. While you're at it, have some fun. For her, by the way, kind of going to commentating on like, oh, how am I making all the decisions for how I'm coloring her, and like deciding all the shapes and everything. It's all basically kind of decided. I'm treating it kind of like a cylinder. So what that means is that because we're looking so high up on looking up, or looking down at her, everything is going to have a very intense curve to it. So that's kind of why the hair is curving a lot like this. It's having a very like circular feel to it, especially if her hair is like cut very evenly. It's going to have a very circular look to it. Same thing with the hat and the outfit. You notice that I spent a good amount of time curving the waist sash area, as well as the body, as well as the bottom of the dress. And the reason why is because the when we're looking down at someone, it's gonna be really curved. So, and it's gonna be very circular. So that's why it's all curving in such a way. Yeah, I gave her a bit of like a dress, but maybe something like this is a bit better, maybe. Oh, yeah, making fan art is a good way to not get burnt out. Yeah, that's a great tip. Yeah. I think a lot of times, sometimes the burnout comes from just overthinking a lot of decisions that in terms of like the creativity. It's like, oh, what should I draw? And then you draw something and you're like, I need to really invent something new, and then it doesn't turn out. So you get really like kind of tired from the creative process. So yeah, I think I totally agree. Yeah, doing some fan art is sometimes a good way to get out of that burnout, for sure. What does the outfit look like? Oh. Oh, also I made her hair much longer. Oops. I didn't realize I made her hair way, way longer. Keep it at this length. I think this is like okay. You're done so much. I zoned out on my practicing drawing the human face. Been drawing 1 or 2 heads daily, so nice. Yeah, you know these sessions here. There's no, there's no proper official way of or anything. So yeah, I always love it when you guys are going like, oh yeah, I drew along with you, or like I didn't draw what you're drawing, but I'm kind of like drawing something on my own alongside with you. I always find that that's always so nice to hear because it's like, wow, you guys are drawing with me. It's kind of like a nice feeling. It's like encouraging in a way. So yeah. Oh, take care of your drawing joints, friends. I haven't doodled anything in weeks and didn't warm up today and sketched hand fast just now. Can't hold my pencil. Oh no. Yeah, that's a good point. I also, for myself too, whenever I get into the zone, as you guys probably know, uh, like as you guys draw yourselves, like draw your own kind of pieces, yeah, it's good to take breaks. It's good to kind of get a little bit of rest and remind yourselves to like get up, walk around, stretch, move around, just so that your body doesn't get too kind of, I guess, used to the sitting position. I can kind of feel it in my foot actually because I'm sitting cross-legged while I'm doing this. So yeah, it's yeah, getting a chance to move around and shift in your position is a good reminder to get up and walk around, take a break, take a short break. I also always need to remind myself that too, because if I draw for too long, my knuckles get really sore. So I don't have any like wrist issues, but I do have some knuckles. Like if I draw for too long, my knuckles get very sore. So that's for me. That's the one thing I get. I know a lot of people when I was in university were like, oh, they were wearing like wrist guards and everything, but I never had a problem with my wrist when drawing. I think it's because I just had good drawing habits for my wrist, so it never like occurred to me, or like it never happened to me. I never had any like wrist problems, but the knuckles for sure was like a thing. Yeah. Maybe it's just me. I tend to not overcomplicate things. I'm always focused on making my art idea exist first, then I revisit them over and over again. I ended up with 10 different versions. Dang. I mean, you know, that's kind of like a good thing too. You have like a whole bunch of just ideas and maybe like worlds and stories that are existing there, and you're getting a chance to draw them out. So yeah, no, that's awesome. realized I gave her a very like cone-shaped hat. Hat is very cone-shaped. I guess it's okay. That's just how it is. I don't remember if I added. I don't think I drew anything on her hat. Nah, I just made it. Oh, I did have it like come down actually. So I guess that's one thing. Yeah, I didn't have anything on her hat, but I will have like this part maybe like come down a little bit, like the tip of the hat, the witch's hat, how it comes down a little bit. So hers is really long. Maybe this looks a little funny, but whatever. I think it's kind of fun. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Soul Eater style, so I'm okay with that. I'll take that as a bit of a win in terms of style. Yeah. I always avoided drawing humans and just did really silly characters, so I'm locked in on drawing humans, so I'm not limited when I make stories or whatever. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm also mostly a human drawing kind of an artist. Every now and then, depending on sometimes like the projects that we're doing for assignments, I'll sometimes go and draw like animals. So there's been a few times during like character design intensives where I go and demonstrate how I would design a creature. So yeah. So it's always good to kind of diversify what you're able to draw. I do think that's a good thing to have. I never warm up, always haven't had any issues yet though. That's nice, yeah. Hand damage. I've had several years history of hand damage. The pain likes to play around in my thumbs. Oh no, dang. Well, hopefully, yeah, getting good rest is good then. Or it's a good reminder to keep resting. Actually, it is a bit of a curse if you are a perfectionist. I guess. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I'm just gonna wing the style of the table. I do have like the drawing from last time I drew this, so it's not like completely winged, but I am using what I drew last time as a bit of a reference for how to approach the design and layout of the table. Alright, looking not too bad, and I'm happy that I got a chance to make the drawing actually kind of look like the original drawing, because I was like, oh, I don't know if I'll make it look exactly like what she looked like in the last stream, but you know what, I think I did a pretty good job of making it actually kind of look like what she looked like in the last one. I cheated a little bit with the hat. I think technically I should have tilted the hat a little bit more if she's looking up, but it's okay. Okay, we're gonna add like this. You know, I think we'll do this box first. That might be better. So a little bit of a reminder, everything that's going towards the left corner is actually going towards a vanishing point that's off screen. So it's not that I'm just drawing it for the sake of drawing it, it's actually going towards a vanishing point. And then the vertical lines of the box is going to the vanishing point down here. So because I already kind of mapped it out, it's easy to kind of guess where the lines should be angling towards. So if you're wondering like, oh Josh, how come you don't have to draw all the lines out or the guidelines out? And it's because if I roughly know, and this is kind of something you'll develop over time as you draw more and more, you'll kind of be able to guess roughly where things should go in perspective, and you won't have to rely too much more on drawing all the guidelines and the grids. I would still recommend maybe checking it afterwards after you're done so you can make sure that things are actually going where they need to go. But once you kind of get familiar with perspective and the limits of it and how much you can actually break the rules in perspective, it's a lot more freeing afterwards to be able to draw what you want to draw and not have to worry about the accuracy of it. Also, again, sorry, I don't know if you guys can hear it, but yeah, there's the neighbors are doing some like drilling and whatnot, so it's very, it like shocked me for a moment. I heard this like growling noise and I'm like, wait, what is that? What's that sound? I was like, oh, it's my neighbors drilling. I can't hear it. You're good. Okay, good. That's good to know. And I think like as you draw more and more as well, you'll kind of be able to just I hate using the word winged. Okay, I guess it's ironic because we're called winged canvas, but I would say I try not to wing necessarily, and it's not necessarily really winging, it's really more just like after drawing for a while, you kind of know where you want things to be, and you can kind of just go at it, if that makes any sense. So even though I drew this kind of off the top of my head, and it feels like, whoa, you know, I know I've had some students sometimes go like, oh, how did you just do it off the top of your head? And part of it's like, oh, just after drawing for so long, you kind of able to just repeat things without having to think too much about it. And yeah, experience is a great teacher. Yeah, exactly. I do think practicing to a certain degree over and over again, you start to know how to draw something without having to always break down the guidelines and grids. Actually, a great example of this is drawing a circle. I remember the first time ever drawing like a circle, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys as well is like, oh, I gotta make the circle look perfect. It's gotta be like the perfect shape and everything. And so you spend like a good amount of time drawing a circle and trying to make it look perfect every single time. And then over the years, after drawing a circle for so long, you kind of realize like, oh, you know, I don't have to make it, I don't have to have it be perfect. It can be a little bit wonky, it can be a bit off, and not only that, but I'm able to draw it much, much quicker without having to think about it too much. And that's kind of the benefit of just being able to, after drawing for so long, you just get really, really good at understanding what is needed, what's important to drawing something. Okay, so these bottles are also going towards the vanishing point that's like around here. So to help me kind of understand where these bottles should be vanishing towards, I'm actually just going to rotate the page so that I have the correct angle for the bottles when I draw them. So I don't have to guess where or how the bottles should be shaped, but instead I can kind of just base it on the angle that it's in. Let me see. I don't know. We'll just draw like an eye. I feel like, you know, if anything, just always draw an eyeball. It's like a very easy thing to draw. And then maybe we'll have like, oh, we'll have actually no, I was gonna like do more and I was like, wait, nope, gotta catch myself. Don't add too much. Gonna get a little bit like too intense with it. Okay, so now I'm gonna draw like the candle and like have like the flame here. Again, same thing. I'm gonna rotate the candle so that the vanishing point is kind of like directly right underneath me. So when I'm drawing it, I know kind of roughly the direction to angle the candle in. So I'm winging it, but I'm doing it because I'm kind of placing my drawing in an angle advantageous to me, so I don't have to like double check the angle of the perspective every single time I'm drawing it. So it's kind of just a nice little cheat, I guess you could say. It's a little bit of like a cheat, I think. See, I think that looks pretty three-dimensional, like we're looking at the top of it. Nice. Let me see. Sorry, I distracted today. Learned that a wisdom tooth is called a muela del juicio in, sorry, I probably butchered that like crazy, Spanish, which literally translates to a molar of judgment, a judgment tooth. Oh, that's so cool. That's a really cool sounding name. That's awesome. Adding scratch marks, like subtle scuff marks on things, also I think helps to really flesh out drawings as well. So if you ever get a chance to, and you have enough time for a drawing, I highly recommend adding scuff marks to your drawings. Really livens the drawings up. I think my dog just farted. It's really random information, but I'm like, something smells weird. And I was like, oh, I think my dog farted. What a guy. I'm like, something smells kind of funny. Having a lot of funny ideas for comic. Nice. Ooh, it is 4:58 right now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream. If you guys are enjoying the stream, be sure to like and subscribe, by the way, if you haven't. This is a great way to just keep up to date as to what is happening, as well as what streams are coming up next, because we stream something different every week, and the topics are always updated and changed. And if you guys didn't know, we actually schedule the streams. So if you're ever wondering like, oh, I don't know what you guys are going to be streaming next time, if you subscribe, we always schedule the streams a little bit ahead of time, so that way you kind of know what we'll be doing next. Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, tomorrow, I mentioned this at the beginning of stream, but Seth and Dallasay they're both going to be doing some fixing your perspective streams. So if you guys hadn't done it, I don't know if it's too late. I think it would probably be too late now, but maybe next time. But basically tomorrow they're both going to be evaluating your perspectives that you guys have submitted. So if you submitted yours, guess what? You probably have a chance of getting both of them to look at your piece. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. It'll kind of almost be like a Q&A session as well, so you'll get a chance to ask them questions, get a chance to kind of pick their brain in terms of like how perspective works and what are some tips that they have, because Seth has a bit more of a storyboarding experience, and then Dallasay, I believe, also has like some kind of layout background experience as well. So asking them both is going to be like a great opportunity for anybody who's ever been interested in doing backgrounds. Yeah. Oh, maybe we'll add like a fun little, it sounds weird, a fun little knife or sword. I don't know. We'll say knife. I made it look like a pepper. Hopefully this way it's less intimidating. Dog fart was not on my bingo. It's always got to be on the bingo list. It happens when we least expect it, I feel like. You always gotta be ready. You always gotta be ready, TF, for the farts. the dog farts. They just sneak up on you, and you never know. when it's gonna happen. Okay, I'm doing this like really old mangy old boot for the flower. 'Cause someone suggested, it's like, oh, gotta put the flower in like a shoe, and it's like, you know what? That is a very great typical kind of flower, kind of witches thing. I feel like flower in a shoe is like very cliche for sure, in a good way, good cliche. Yeah. We'll add one more bottle over here. Well, actually, we'll add a few more bottles. So this one, I think this was supposed to be the squid. Not the squid. Wait, is it? Yeah, it's a tentacle kind of bottle. So that's what this will be. And so the cool thing and the fun thing about drawing kind of 3-point perspective is that you get to really push the perspective and the angles of things in a really fun way, that I think the reason why it stands out always to us when we draw a 3-point perspective is just that we get to see things in a perspective, haha, in a way that we would never really typically see. So when we see these like familiar setups that we have seen in another angle, and then we finally see it in a different perspective, it's like, whoa, that looks so cool. Like, would not have expected seeing something like that. So it's always kind of fun. I'm also just having a lot of fun drawing and designing these objects. Oh, also totally forgot to open it up for you guys, but if you have any suggestions for what to put on this table, let me know. I know that the stream is going, we're gonna go a little bit over time, a little bit, so I can just finish drawing these objects. But yeah, if any of you guys have suggestions or recommendations of what to draw, let me know, and I'll try to include them into the drawing. Although it's it's a little bit late, so maybe now it'll be like, oh, you know, I have to go kind of thing. But yeah, if anybody has any suggestions, let me know. I think it'll be really fun taking some recommendations from you guys. A bottled fishtail. This is the second stream in a row where farts become part of the conversation. I swear in the last one with Faye, she talked about, she made a comic about farts. Really? Oh, that's, what are the chances? What a coincidence. I mean, I was not like intentionally thinking about talking about farts, but it's just my dog farted. So it's kind of funny how it all just came back. It all comes back to farts. It always does. The bottled fishtail. I was overly attached to that one. Oh, yeah, the fishtail. Okay, I don't know how I'm gonna draw that in this perspective. Okay, here, I'll put this. I think last time, Kelzun, it's like hidden. It's like very subtly there. So here's your fishtail. Your fishtail is hidden in this bottle right here. The tentacle, that's this one. I don't think we'll be able to see it too much, but I guess for you guys who are here, you'll know that's the tentacle. But yeah. Josh is following his instincts more than anything else. I am just following my instincts. Exactly. That's what I tell you guys to do too. Is like trust your instincts. Yeah. See, wizard ones that look like skeleton hands. Ooh, that is kind of gnarly. I feel like, but I do like that idea as well. And yeah, TF has been here for a while. Get the feels, so yeah. Also, I'm trying to draw wax on the table, so if you're wondering, like, oh, what are all these like things kind of floating down. It's like, oh, it's supposed to be like wax. It's like melted wax. Over the years of just use and everything. Also, you know, speaking of like kind of the wax and all that, it reminds me a little bit of kind of like the Haunted Mansion. I don't know if anybody's ever been to like Disney World before, but man, the Haunted Mansion is just so cool. Just all the I don't know, the texture, the noise, the stuff that they add there is just like so much fun to look at. So I think like this box here, I'm gonna grab a little bit of I'm grabbing a little bit of inspiration from the Haunted Mansion. Okay, I'm drawing kind of like a tufted up feather, or not feather, carpet. And what I'm doing is I'm just drawing these really big shapes for the ruffles on the ends of the carpet. And yeah. And the tufts, the way they go is also going to be going towards the vanishing point as well. So it's not all random. It's not just kind of like, oh, here's a random, like, we're going to put it over here kind of thing. It's like, no, everything is kind of placed intentionally. Okay, I'm going to put like a random just off the shoot kind of just chest box on the side. I feel like, don't know what to put, just put a chest box on the side. I feel like it solves many problems and whatnot. But get the feels. I don't know if TF knows who you are on, like, based on your username, unless you message them. You can go ahead and message them, because I don't know if they don't, because I don't know if they know. Wait, you can't unsee the middle finger now? Wait, what? The table is swearing at us so improved. Wait, what? But this is where the wax on the front left of the table kind of looks like a middle finger. You know what? I will leave that there, and it will. I like that. It's like a nice little Easter egg for those of you guys who are here. You guys can you can enjoy that. That is funny. I like that. It is not intentional, by the way, but I like that you saw that there. It was like, hey, that looks a little kind of funny. Like, yeah. It made me laugh as well. I know it was an accident. It was perfect. Let's draw a bunch of really small boxes. And then the cat. Actually, I kind of want to make this a little bit rounder. Yeah, okay, the cat. Okay, I did move the cat away from the witch a little bit, so hopefully this way, when I draw the cat, the wings kind of stand out maybe a little bit more. Also, drawing a cat in like this perspective is a little bit tricky, because I'm just like, I don't know what we would like see, what would be a good angle for the cat and everything. And yeah, but I don't know, we'll give it a shot, I guess. Maybe the head's a bit too big. Maybe something like that is, that looks pretty cat-like, I think. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. That's a really long cat. Maybe, okay, we'll shrink it to like here, maybe? And whatnot. Maybe something like that. And then we'll have the cat's tail like up here, maybe. Up to like the fingers. Yeah. Like a bird with the head turned to the table. Yeah, I can see it. Kind of looks like a dove a little bit as well. Yeah. Okay, let me look up just some bat wings. Because bat wings. Let me see. Okay. The problem is I feel like I have to draw them inverted. Because... Sorry, these are like really like crappy bat wings. with the time that we have, I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna roughly get a feel for some bat wings. I don't know how this is gonna look really shoddy, but okay, there we go. We got a cat with some really wonky bat wings, but it's okay. We'll go with it. My cat is in the exact same pose, really? Aw, your cat's so fun. Your cat's messing with your drawing pad. It's copying the pose. It's really invested in this drawing, it seems. That's awesome. Let me see. I'll just put some like random shapes here, just for fun. I don't know, I feel like that's kind of what this carpet needs. It needs some like extra shapes here and there. Okay, and then we can draw the other side of the table. Put it like here maybe. Let me see. And then we'll have like the wall be here, maybe? I think so. Yeah, we can have the wall here. And the window can be like here. Okay, cool. Got a nice little brick window. Look over there. It's okay. The cat bat could have a broken wing, and she's gonna fix it. Ah, true. It's a good way of like seeing it. Yeah. Then let's see. Maybe just like some patchy marks on the wall. I think that could like just help flesh it out a little bit. Oh yeah, and then the broomstick, the hidden broomstick. For those who know that's the broomstick. There's always just gonna be like a random stick there, and people are gonna be like, why is there just like a random like stick there? Like, is that supposed to be anything? It's like, I don't know. Maybe it is something. And you guys will know what it is. It is the broomstick. I drew the skull kind of cartoony last time, so I'll do the same thing, kind of just very cartoony skull. I drew it with really wide eyes, but I guess because we're looking at it from the top view, it's gonna be a little bit different. Oh. Do you take pictures of yourself or other people if you can find a reference with the angle you're looking for? Yeah, I do that sometimes. So if I really can't find a pose and I'm really stuck and I really need, like, this pose is really important, and I need to get it correct and I can't find the reference, then yeah, I'll take a reference, like a photo of myself doing the pose. I try not to, just because I feel like it never turns out great. But yeah, if it's needed, then I'll take a photo of myself doing the pose. But yeah. I feel like this is like a very unintimidating crow over here. So I draw the crow. Oh, the crow has like a pretty big head. And I feel like I turned him more into like a pigeon. This crow. This crow is more pigeon than crow. But that's okay. He also keeps a mirror at his desk for quick references. Yeah. That's honestly, that's the biggest point that I have, which is that if anything, I think it's way easier to just have a mirror in front of you and just take a photo, or not take a photo, but just look at the mirror. And then if you really need to take like a photo or anything, then yeah, definitely go for it. There's nothing wrong with taking photos of yourself to this sounds funny, but there's nothing wrong with taking photos so that you have a better reference idea of what you need. But yeah, I recommend, like, if you can get away with just looking at the mirror and whatnot, then yeah, I would recommend doing that instead of taking a photo. I do that to combine a few references to make a sketch, or good old Frankenstein method. Yeah, honestly, there's no right or wrong way with approaching doing or like finding references. So whatever works and whatever feels the most convenient for you, honestly, I think is kind of like the best way to go about it. So yeah. Okay, this is the eyeball jar, because I did not get a chance to draw the eyeball jar. So I'm gonna draw this eyeball jar right over here. That matches perspectively. Yeah. I think that checks out. Okay. And let me see. Oh yeah, the eyeballs. Okay, so we got some floating eyeballs here. So back to the back to the eyeballs. If I remember, there was someone who was like a little grossed out by the eyeballs. Sorry about have to bring the eyeballs back, but hopefully everything else, the other cartoonier stuff balances out the weirdness of the eyeballs, the eyeball jar, and everything. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. This is looking pretty good, I'd say. Nice. Okay, we're almost done. We got the book left. Well, the book will be like this. Oh, I have a little bit of a tangent with the book, kind of going a little bit off the page, but it's okay. I'll forgive myself for having a tangent. I can forgive myself for having a tangent. Let's see. We put it on the letter S. With AI being so big now, I prefer to take pictures so I know it's not AI. That's true too. Yeah, I think it's definitely made me more appreciative of the books that I already have. Just because it's like, oh, I have this book. I don't have to worry that it's like AI, and like I've had this book for years, so like I know, it's nice to have references in front of me and to be like, yeah, I have references and I don't need to always rely on the computer necessarily. So I think that's also nice too. Yeah. Okay, let me see. What else is there? Oh, right. Okay, one more kind of just like random trunk, I think. Where's this going? So because this box is actually turned at a different angle, I don't have to actually follow the other perspective lines that I had going for the other ones. But the vertical ones I do. The vertical ones I do need to make sure that they follow perspective, but this one I don't have to follow the same vanishing points. That's what I mean. I don't have to have it following the same vanishing points, but the vertical lines do have to follow that. So that's the only thing. Other than that, everything else I can kind of go about it myself. Yeah. Alright, cool. I think that's kind of it for this. Okay, let me quickly color in the table, because I think that was like the only other thing that I have colored in kind of dark in the original piece. So I'm just going to color this in really quickly, and then that'll be kind of it. So again, just gonna shout it out, give a little bit of yeah, just some housekeeping things. Or not tomorrow. For Monday, it's going to be Seth and Dallas A streaming. They're doing kind of like a perspective submissions critique. So I think they sent out this notification a while ago. I don't know if it's too late to, but you can definitely check and submit and see if you get a possibility of getting your submissions in and having it be looked by Dallas A and Seth. But yeah, on Monday they're gonna go over your submissions and give you guys some feedbacks for those who submitted some stuff. And then we're finally officially out of environmental painting, so we're gonna be moving on to a different subject, and I'll kind of go over what that'll be once I finish coloring this in. Yeah. And if you enjoy these streams, definitely drop a like. And if you enjoy what we're doing here, but you want to kind of have a deeper dive and also maybe get some like accountabilities and feedback and getting some like deeper lessons, I highly recommend you check out our lessons and our classes, because if you didn't know, we're not just a YouTube channel, but we're also a school of illustration. So we cover a lot of things like drawing and painting, character design, also like animation as well. That'll be coming back for the fall term. We also do like cartooning and anime. So if any of these sound interesting to you, or if you've ever always wanted to kind of bolster your art drawing techniques, then I highly recommend checking out our classes, because on YouTube, on our live streams, we can only do so much. We can only answer so many questions and give so much of a lesson before the actual demo. So if you want that kind of deeper demo, I highly recommend checking out our website for our collection of classes. And someone asked like, oh, how many classes do you guys have? And I just counted them. We have about 6 classes running right now. I believe if we include the animation class, then we would have about 7 classes. But yeah, they're all really fun. Everybody's like super chill and really nice in our classes, so you have no worries of sharing your work. Everybody's really nice, and you'll only get critiques and feedback if you ask for it. So yeah, so definitely check out our website for our classes if you are ever interested in checking out what we have. Okay, I want to say that this is basically done. let me see. I'm gonna give one backdrop color so it matches kind of what I had in the other one. Oh wait, what time is it? Oh, okay. I think, what did I have in the original drawing? Oh, I had some stuff shaded. Okay, give me a sec. I'm going to put in that same yellow color that's like here. I'm just gonna drop it in. Just gonna draw it. Drop it in as a square. And then I'm gonna use like white to just kind of quickly color in the highlight areas. Use like a bigger brush. And let me see. And then we'll call it a day. So, doing it really quickly. It's pretty rough, but hopefully you guys get a feel for the idea here. Actually, maybe I might leave it like this. I'll just have the witch's face and the tablecloth colored in, and maybe like here, and then we'll call it a day. I'll submit this, and if you guys want to see this final version of my drawing here, definitely go check us out on Discord. That's where I'll be uploading this afterwards. So if you kind of want to be like, oh, I want to know what this looks like at the end, yeah, it'll be here. Actually, maybe I'll just leave it black and white for this one, because I don't think I have enough time to color it in. But yeah. Let me see. Be a member of the city library wherever you could get books. Yeah. The lower patterning on the table. Yeah. Okay, so thank you everybody for joining us. Hope you guys really enjoyed this stream. I'll be posting the notes for 3-point perspective and just generally how it works. If you want to see this piece, I'll be uploading it onto Discord along with the notes so that you can see it in further details and at a closer kind of, I guess, resolution. And yeah, again, if you enjoyed the stream, definitely like and subscribe. This way you'll know when we're streaming next. And speaking of that, the next time I'll be streaming is going to be September 5th. So I guess that's next Saturday, I believe. And yeah, next month's theme is limited palette. So we're actually going to go into color theory for the next stream, and every other stream following that is going to be has some relationship to colors. And if you enjoy what we do here and you want to support us, definitely check us out on Patreon, where we offer perks such as monthly class recordings for members. You get special emotes and badges, as well as access to our Discord members chat only. And yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram and Discord as well. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Thanks for staying along with me as I finished out the drawing for this. Here it is. I will send this to you guys later. Yeah, colors, woo! So hopefully you enjoyed this one. I'll see you all later. Have a good weekend. If it's hot for you guys, stay cool. If it's cool, I guess, enjoy the weather. Okay, bye-bye, everybody. Bye.